The next topic we have is using for loops with list. Here they have made use of a for loop for I in range of 4 colon print of I. So the range they have given, and usually the value starts with 0 for any variable. So it will print 0, 1, 2, 3 and excluding 4. Okay, so this is how we had made use of for loop, and it will show this below output, that is 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so let us try this program. Control N for I in range of 4. Okay, put a colon, next print of I. Okay, Control S, 3, enter F5. So what it has printed? 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so they have said that this is because the return value from range 4, this also looks like a function only. Okay, this is because the return value from range of 4 is a list like value, that Python considers similar to this list. Okay, so they are saying that this range of 4 is considered as a list only, and Python considered it as 0, 1, 2, 3. So instead of writing range of 4, if you write 0 the list, it is one and the same. Okay, so it will print the same output as the above. We can check this. Control N. Okay, for I in, put the list 0, 1, 2, 3, close the list, colon, print I. Okay, Control S, 4, enter F5. Okay, so you can see that it is the same output 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so range of 4 which is there, it is considered as a list by Python. Okay, so what they are saying is a common Python technique is to use this function. Okay, this is one of the most common technique that is used in Python, that is use some list name. Okay, they have, in general they have written it as some list. This you put it in the function len. Okay, and this entire thing you write it within the function range. Okay, with a for loop to iterate over the indexes of a list. Okay, if you want to iterate through indexes of the list, then you can make use of this. That means indexes means index of 0 who is their pens, index of 1 who is their staplers, index of 2 flamethrowers, index of 3 binders. Okay, so this supplies is a list, and its index 0, index 0th index pen, first index stapler, second index flamethrowers, third index binders. If you want to work with indexes of a list, then they are saying make use of this technique. Okay, so we'll see this example. Supplies is a list here, and it has 4 values within it, and then you make use of a for loop for I in range of supplies. You write it as an input to a len function. Okay, so the name of the list is taken as input to the len function, and this entire thing is taken as input to the range function. Okay, and then what they are doing is print index. Okay, this is enclosed within quotes, index plus str of I. Now I, what will the value initially? It will be 0. So index of 0, this 0 is an integer, it cannot be concatenated with a string. So you have to convert that integer value to a string value by using str function. So str of 0 will convert that 0 into a string. So what it will give is index of 0 in supplies is supplies of I, that is I, what is the value? 0. Supplies of 0, who is there in supplies of 0? It is pens. Okay, supplies is a list, and I will range from 0 to 3. So supplies of 0, who is there? Pens is there. So what it will print is index 0 in supplies is pens. Okay, next the value of I will be incremented to 1. Okay, so what it will print is index of 1 in supplies is, who is there in supplies of 1? Staplers. So it will print staplers. Okay, next it will show next it will increment the value of I, it will be 2. So what it will print is index of 2 in supplies is, supplies of 2 who is their flamethrowers. Okay, so it will print index 2 in supplies is flamethrowers. Next again it will increment the value of I, it will be 3. So what it will print is index of 3, it will be converted into string by str function. Index of 3 in supplies is supplies of 3, who is there in supplies of 3? Binders. Okay, so we can try this program. Okay, control N. What was the list name? Supplies. Supplies is equals to, okay, enclosed within square brackets, pens, comma, pencil, comma, paper. Okay, close the list. Then make use of for I in, use the range function. Inside the range function you use the len function. Inside the len function you use the supplies list. Okay, close the colon. Next, print how it should appear. Single quote, index, okay, single quote, plus str function to convert the I value into integer value, plus again string, sentence, index of 0 in supplies, what's wrong, in supplies is, okay, close the sentence, plus what is that list name? Supplies. Okay, and index you give it as I. Okay, close it. Control S, 5. Okay, let me clear the screen. F5. Okay, so what it is given is index 0 in, let's give some space here, it is all combined. Index, here you give a space, here you give a space, here also you give a space. Okay, control S, F5. So how it will print is index of 0 in supplies is pens, index of 1 in supplies is pencil, index of 2 in supplies is paper. Okay, so when you want to work with indices, that time Python makes use of this technique. Okay, indices of a list. Okay, so what they have given here is using range len of supplies in the previously shown for loop is handy because the code in the loop can access the index. Okay, can access the index as the variable I and the value of that index as supplies of I. Okay, so you can work with the indices as well as the values of the list by using this technique. Okay, best of all, range len of supplies will iterate through all the indexes of supplies. Okay, it will iterate through all the indexes of the supplies no matter how many items it contains. Okay, so if you want to iterate through all the values of a list, that time you have to make use of range of len of some list. Okay, that some list will be the name of the list that you have taken. Okay, so in this way, if you are using this technique, the for loop which you have used will iterate through all the values of that list. Okay, indexes, first it will iterate through the indexes, that is index of 0 1 2 3, and the values that are stored in those indexes: pens, staplers, flamethrowers and binders. So this was about using for loops with list. The next topic we have is the multiple assignment trick. The multiple assignment trick is a shortcut that lets you assign multiple variables with the values in a list in one line of code. Okay, that is, if you have multiple assignments for a list, that you can combine it in one line of code as in the below example. Here is a list cat, and with this list cat you have three list values here: fat, black and loud. Here you are assigning a variable size to the first value of the list, that is cat of 0. Okay, that is fat. Color is equals to cat of 1, second value in the list, that is black. and disposition is equals to cat of 2, that is the third value of the list, loud. Okay, so when you have multiple assignments like this for the list value, that time you can combine it into a one line. For example, here cat is a list, fat, black, loud is there. Here three variables you can assign it directly to the list name, that is cat. So what will happen here is size comma color comma disposition is equals to, directly you can give the list name. So it will assign size is equals to fat, color is equals to black, disposition is equals to loud. So this is known as the multiple assignment trick. The number of variables and the length of the list must be exactly equal, or Python will give you a value error. For example, the length of the list and the variable names both should be same. Here there were three values and three variables, but here there are three values and there are four variable names here, which is fourth variable name. So what will happen? Size will get allotted to fat, color to black, disposition to loud, and there will be no value for the name variable. So it will give the value error message there. So what it is saying is value error, need more than three values to unpack. So if you want to use the multiple assignment trick in a single line, so make sure that the list values and the variable values both are same.